Hi, Lishia.
Hi,
Where are you?
I am in Lampung, and for those of you who are from outside of Indonesia, Lampung is in Sumatra. I'm here on a business trip, so I'm here over the weekend. So hey, I mean, good to catch up and have this time with you.
Yes. By the way, this is Lishia on the job.
Yeah, no Hermes bags, just uniform polo shirt.
By the way, you still look good. Don't worry about that. Anyway,
Thanks.
yeah, we're going to talk about social impact. And the reason I suggested, and then I think you also agree with me, that there is a trend, it's always been there actually, but there is sort of a growing interest from young people, let's say the millennials or even younger, to do something so they can create what's called social impacts. They want to create social changes, which is good, right? They care about social problems. They would like to address it. They would like to bring solutions to those social problems. And the vehicle that they usually think about is maybe they will establish charity, they will establish foundation, they will go into nonprofit, so they can make that happen. Because at the same time, I also see people have a tendency to make a distinction as if that if you are a nonprofit, if your mission is to create social changes, it's different than people who are establishing enterprise, who are in for-profit. So there is a tendency to see it as some kind of two separate worlds. What do you think of that?
They're not separate. I think these days we are getting to understand more that a balance between profit, people, and the planet is more important than just one of them, which is profit. I think in corporate worlds also, we are moving away from just shareholders' returns to stakeholder returns, and having that trend for people to want to use social intentions for a business idea is actually quite good, because then you identify what the market needs, what your society needs, or even what the planet needs to get done. But you apply that entrepreneurial spirit and ways of doing things into your social impact activities. We now have different terminologies like sociopreneurs, womenpreneurs, agripreneurs. We have all these flavors of the day. I call it flavor of the day. But in essence, what you're doing is setting up something, building it, and then capturing that opportunity. And that's the whole entrepreneurial spirit, sort of living through your social impact vision.
There's a book that I read like 2 months ago. There's an argument that a lot of the failures of nonprofits or charity foundations because they don't have good management. So as if that, having a good cause, good calling, and idealism, as if, that's enough to create optimum social impacts. Do you pick up the same, I would say, problem?
What we do find is that people will start from, a gung-ho, let's do this, I want to make a change. But as you operate the organization or your charity, you will find that there are costs to things, even your light bulbs cost. And there are economic forces that would demand that you operate the organization in a manner that you put as you would in a private sector company. So even, for example, how you man your office, how you coordinate the field teams on the ground, how you then manage your books in terms of your compliance or tax or your grant applications, you're still fundraising, you're still putting accounting principles into your books. And even now we have ESG, so the environmental and social governance report. And then you have the GRI reporting, where actually the principles that you use in a private company, you take that into your charity or your social impact effort, so that you can scale up, you can maintain your sustainability as an organization. It's not that we're trying to be bureaucratic or anything, but it's more about making sure that the resources are deployed in an efficient way. And also you have that accountability to your funders or your the donations that you get from people.
So the last point that I would like to discuss, impact should be measured. So you have to argue, what is the methodology that you measure, those things before you call it as social impacts. Just like in, let's say, for profit, you in financial reporting, you probably report your sales, and so forth. How do you see the measurement of social impact?
There are different ways of doing it, and different organizations will subscribe to a variety of ways. The intangible measurements, they would probably see it. Is there a change in behavior? Is there a change in attitude or knowledge or even a situation? And then you measure the before and after your project or your initiative. Another one would measure it from if it's economic impact or income or livelihood, then the metrics are, tend to be quite straightforward. But then there are also metrics where you would embed social values, economic value, and then environmental value into something that's quantifiable. And it depends on the organization and what they see as impact. There are also organizations who would use the SDGs as a metric. So then they would look into, let's say, for example, food security. Then you would look at how people afford food, how food is available. And if you look at people's attitudes toward women politicians, for example, then you would see, are there more women in parliament? Or you would see, are women more outspoken and involved in policy making? So there are some measurements. It depends on whether you want to measure something that's quantifiable or something that is more intangible, but you can still see the movement.
I think it's not enough by saying, okay, I have delivered this amount of, let's say, food to this community. That's not the impact. That is the program. That is the activity.
It's beyond that. There are different things to measure, and the investors and people who are philanthropic are also getting more sophisticated as to what they want to spend their money on.
Because every charity and foundation also have to do impact reports, just like for usually do financial reports. These are the things that have to be articulated well when you produce impact reports, right?
Absolutely. Education, women, minority groups, anything. You will have to produce a report. And the reporting is more because you can also benefit from it, because then you can see how well you're doing and how much impact you've been making. If it's a dent, then it's probably something that you need to change within your operation or your approach. And it's the same way as running a project in a company. If a product is not making much return, then you would change that product, either pricing or the innovation. Same thing here. You innovate on what you're offering to solve this social issue.
Thank you very much, Lishia. I know your day is not done yet. You still have another one. So thank you very much for taking time and talk with me. Please have a good time in your business trip. I hope you will do during this weekend.
I hope so. We're trying to do some impact here. We'll probably see in the news over the next few months, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That is exciting. Awesome. As always, Lishia. Talk to you again next week. We're going to discuss, more interesting stuff. Right?
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to speak to you.
Good to speak to you. Have a good night.
Bye.